Are you ready to continue what has been a pretty magnificent season of TNG?
I am ready. I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. This recording week we're doing, we watched some Tales from the Crypt and we watched a movie, and the anticipation has been building for Star Trek this entire 3-day work week.
Of watching TV.
Of watching TV, but I'm excited to jump back in, and by the blue lights, I'm guessing this is a TNG video.
Yes, it is, and we had Tapestry last time, which was incredible. Don't want to have too high of a bar for every single episode of the season, but it has been pretty excellent outside of just a couple of them recently. So let's get jumping in.
The Enterprise has arrived at Station Deep Space Nine to assist in the reconstruction.
Oh, dude, look at the space station.
Oh, it's
in the high quality.
Oh, this is so weird. Oh, wow. What?
I should be through with
Well, that didn't take long to have this crossover.
I thought it was going to be quite a bit.
Dude, this is weird to me. I don't like this. I don't like seeing it like this.
You like the old style?
What is this?
It's pasta al fiorella. It's one of my favorites. Don't worry, you're gonna love it.
I like this duo.
I'll have to talk to Chief O'Brien about these replicators.
He really likes it.
Tastes like liquid polymer.
Delicious.
The problem is originating in sickbay. There's been an unauthorized access into the computer's bioimaging systems.
Come on, it's way too early for this kind of crossover, but I'd like to see our crew interact with the Deep Space Nine. Oh! There's one of them.
It's just, okay, obviously they didn't know this at the time, but this being remastered, it just makes it all so weird. But I do think you can tell the lighting is TNG lighting, even on the space station.
I need a hand with this field generator.
It's just already so weird.
Dr. Julian Bashir, Chief Medical Officer, Deep Space Nine. And you are Commander Data. It's an honor to meet you, sir. I've heard so much about you. You must have a fascinating perspective into bio-cybernetic research. I must admit, Commander, I didn't think you'd be so personable.
Well, that was nice.
That was. Now, do you think they're doing this crossover to maybe to give Deep Space Nine a little bump, maybe?
Oh, 100%. NXT bump coming up for Survivor Series. Oh.
You're Starfleet Klingon.
Look at that.
I'm Lieutenant Worf.
Have you heard of lotion?
Worf, son of Morg.
Oh, no.
It is about your father.
My father died 25 years ago at Kittimer.
That is what you believe. He is still alive.
Is that something he heard? Good, he has giant ears.
Dude, that's crazy.
Hold on,
Worf's dad alive?
We have Worf's dad supposedly alive. We have the Deep Space Nine crew interacting with the TNG crew. Dr. Julian Bashir in full-ass 4K, well, not 4K, but Blu-ray.
And a super long hook, by the way.
Yeah, super long. All that to get to, hey, your dad's still alive.
My father is dead.
No, he's not.
Part 1.
I expect to be paid for my information.
James Cromwell. Oh, that's him. He was another TNG character in the past.
Many were captured by the Romulans and placed in a prison camp.
Dude,
Your father was among them.
Dude.
My father was killed defending Kittimer.
Dude, I know. I mean, his whole thing, honor dying in battle. His dad, if he was prisoner of war for 25 years, dude. Remember that one Klingon and when Riker went over there who was like mad about his dad not dying?
And they already gave Worf enough shit. If they found out his dad was alive as a prisoner, they give him even more.
We'll need to get your rendezvous scheduled to Commander Rudman aboard the Merrimack as soon as you're...
I am well aware of your request, Commander. Fine. I will send your schedules.
Troy's back in a uniform. There we go.
Woo! Hey, Colby loves the close-ups, even on this statue's ass. I unfortunately didn't recognize any other DS9 actors in the guest list, so I guess it was just that scene.
Yeah.
Klingons love to break those glass tables.
That's true.
Clean this up.
Did the table do something wrong?
Fuck you.
Would you like to talk about what's bothering you, or would you like to break some more furniture?
Damn, she's being pretty blunt here.
If my father were alive, it would dishonor his sons and their sons for 3 generations. Even Alexander would bear the burden of guilt.
You're willing to ignore the possibility because you're concerned about dishonor?
My father is dead. That Eurydian is selling lies.
So, yes is your answer.
If you're so sure about that, why are you still so upset? You can't deny the possibility just because you don't want it to be true. If you want to talk about this, you know where to find me.
She's like, that's all you get without paying.
That's $150 for the deposit.
I thought it was included in the enterprise benefits package.
Oh, no.
They changed.
Can I ask you a personal question? Does your hair grow?
I've not yet had a reason to modify the length of my hair. Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious.
I'd like to see him interact with, Beverly, the other doctor.
And you have a pulse.
My circulatory system not only produces biochemical lubricants, it regulates microhydraulic power.
Fully functional.
No one has ever asked me if my hair will grow, or noticed that I can breathe.
I find that fascinating.
You know, if every single scene of the show moving forward was like that scene, I'd love it. You just talk to each other and let me learn more stuff about you.
Are you a fan of character development and building relationships?
Reduce the transfer rate.
Reducing rate by 20%.
Oh boy.
Oh
His synaptic energy is dropping.
no. Oh, there we go, Colby. Just a simple lens change in the dropping of a camera can make something look so tense and different.
And how about this score too in the background?
Oh my god.
Is it the first time we've seen Brent Spiner without the Data makeup? Because like, every form he's done has been a form of Data, right?
Yeah, old,
Well, I guess
lore.
Soon
Yeah.
but he was an old man.
Yeah.
I can recall a series of images. I saw Dr. Sung, my father.
Oh, it was him younger. So he really did build him right in his own image. I couldn't really tell when he was an old man.
Yeah, that old man makeup was pretty heavy. But yeah, of course he made it in his own image.
He's a man. Are you kidding me?
Who else is going to make it up?
Machines can't have hallucinations. But then again, most machines can't grow hair.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
How's your storyline going? Good. How's yours?
I was told you had the A-plot this episode.
I have heard you mention that you once experienced a vision. I have recently had an unusual experience, which might be described as a vision. I saw my father. I do not know how to proceed.
You must find its meaning. Your father is a part of you, always. Learning about him teaches you about yourself. You must find him.
But I am not looking for my father.
Do not stop until you have the answer.
What are the odds of both of these having father-related crises? Crises?
Yeah, and an episode's called Birthright, so it makes sense. And it's interesting, too, because, obviously Worf just convinced himself there that he needs to find his father.
Yeah. You came for help about your development, but in reality, it's for mine.
Female bullying? Appreciate that they're not slimming down on the makeup here on DS9 for the TNG crossover.
Not at all. I love it.
I wish to go to the Romulan prison camp.
Excellent.
I'm going to be pissed if this guy's just lying to him.
I do not have the time. I have other business. Oh.
Throw him over.
It is a dangerous journey.
Dangerous. It would be more dangerous for you to refuse.
Oh!
We will arrive in the Karaya sector in approximately 3 hours. I suggest you get some rest.
This guy's going to die, or he's a rat. I don't know.
Yeah, but his makeup is just
Fantastic.
yeah, like fantastic in such a gnarly way.
The interpretation of visions and other metaphysical experiences are almost always culturally derived, and I have no culture of my own.
Oh.
You're a culture of one, which is no less valid than a culture of 1 billion. We don't ask, what does this mean to other people? The real question is, what does it mean to us?
I believe I understand, sir. Thank you.
Good advice, Picard.
Absolutely. And that's what art and all that is, right? It's what does it do for you?
Mm-hmm.
That's consistent with Data's character, though. He's always looking for answers or imitations or things outside of himself.
When will you return?
50 hours. Do not be late.
50 hours.
So basically, you have 2 days. Whoa!
Oh.
Is that his dad?
Is this legal?
Talk, I swear I will hang you by your...
It's a Klingon.
Yeah, it's a Klingon woman.
I've come to help you.
Help me.
Yes. How did you get out of camp? Does anyone know you were gone?
Yes.
I've come to take you home.
This is my home.
It is very important you tell no one you saw me.
I mean, if it's been 25 years and, you know, it could be her home if she was, like, born there. You know what I mean? Like, born a prisoner. Then this is basically her home.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck?
Could it be his sister?
I was thinking that as well.
I accidentally saw my sister nude.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, that one's... Oh, that's a good idea for an art piece. And how much you think? That's probably...
40 grand.
Yeah.
I am painting.
I can see that.
2 at the same time, damn.
I have done as Captain Picard suggested. I have tried to explore the images.
When did he see birds?
I would like to recreate the experiment which caused my initial shutdown.
I'll go find Dr. Bashir.
I will prepare the power transfer.
He's really tempted fate.
Did they set a time for how long they're going to leave him like that, though?
I know he said just over 65% he would pull it. So I don't know if they're just going to leave him like that until he wakes up.
Well, the first time they pulled him out of it.
This vision is different. Of course it's different.
Hey!
What is happening, Father? I don't know, Data. What is happening?
Nice.
Proud of you, son. I wasn't sure you'd ever develop the cognitive abilities to make it this far. I've started a wonderful journey. What type of journey? Think of it.
Classic dream scenario here where it cuts immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I do not understand.
That's definitely not
Yeah,
Brent
that's not
Donovan.
him. That's all right.
Just picturing a crew member.
Whoa, nice.
Oh!
This is like Soren, Star Trek edition. Well, it's definitely one of those moments where it's like, well, he's changed forever.
I plan to shut down my cognitive functions for a brief period each day. I hope to generate new internal visions.
It sounds to me like you're talking about dreaming. You know, this is just the kind of thing that might get me published in the Starfleet Cybernetics Journal.
Make it about yourself.
Thank you, Data. And sweet dreams.
Are the Klingons and Romulans like living in peace?
Well, the Romulan had a gun when he came up to her.
Did he?
I'm guessing this is all. It is like a Romulan prison of Klingons, but they probably just chill here. I mean, they have no choice.
Yeah. And Worf hates Romulans so much. Imagine if he finds out his dad's 1, alive, and 2, friends with the Romulans. Destroys his entire identity.
Oh man, is this him?
I've come to find my father.
Valet Kittimer. He was fortunate.
Yeah, I don't think this guy's telling him the truth.
Yeah.
You should not have come here, Worf.
I do not understand.
You should not have come.
That's not what you want to hear.
He must leave at once.
No, it is too late for that now. He would bring others. And on!
Oh no!
We are not leaving here. And neither are you.
Oh, freeze frame. They're doing all the different ones. They got the freeze frame, the cut to black. Damn, I think maybe you're right about them working together there.
Yeah.
I thought all around, good part one. I don't think I'd put it on quite the level of my favorite part one as Chain of Command a few episodes ago, but I think overall this wasn't a part one I was like, trying to get through. It was a lot of setup, but also you wouldn't get something like a 5-minute trippy dream sequence for Data in a 45-minute, self-contained. Stuff like that you can only get in a two-parter, so...
Yeah, the difference between this part one and bad part ones is we have some nice moments with Worf and Data. We have some looks into their past and their backstories with their fathers and everything. And there's a shroud of mystery around it. Why is Data having these dreams? Where is Worf's father? Is he actually alive? It was interesting. It was all integral to our main characters here. And with a little added bonus of Deep Space Nine. So, yeah, I think it was a really good part one.
Yeah, there was definitely a small letdown going from the Hook into the episode. The Hook thinking they're literally docked at Deep Space Nine. This is going to be a Deep Space Nine, crossover. Not really. I mean, it is, but just with Dr. Bashir. So I did have to kind of recover from, changing my frame of reference. Okay, that's not what this is. Let's see what the episode is. But I thought the episode overall was really good, and I did love all the Dr. Bashir and Data stuff. That was probably my favorite stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think they used Dr. Bashir just to have someone ask those human questions? Because I think he's a perfect, curious character to have someone ask those questions that can lead into Data having his development of becoming more than what he is.
Yeah, what I really respect about the crossover, is that everything in here, it makes sense. It does not feel like they, had this story and were like, well, we got to shove Deep Space Nine on here. Worf only finds out because of the guy at the space station on Deep Space Nine, about his dad. And, Dr. Bashir asking him those questions makes sense for Data's story. So, Brandon Barrega wrote this, at least this part one. I think he did a great job making it seem natural and not like a forced crossover.
Yeah, I mean, in part two, some more characters could show up, but will it feel like fan service? It's a weird fan service for a show that's, 8, 9 episodes in existence?
Yeah, because we already love it. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm excited to get jumping into part two. How are you?
I am. Ever since Best of Both Worlds, I feel as if these part one and part twos are just happening all the time now.
Yeah, I mean, it was just finales for a while, but then, we had Unification, and now this is second one we've had just this season.
Yeah.
Obviously, we started the season with a part two as well, so
right.
It is becoming... How do you feel about that?
I like it when they're done well, like anything. The part one we had here, I thought was a very good setup in terms of we're not just wasting time watching a character talk about nothing that's helping with the plot, or our characters learn about themselves.
Or Picard and Data just walking down a corridor for 20 minutes.
Yes. So I think everything that happened in part one was done really well by our buddy Winrich, and I'm excited to see if he's going to direct this one. Are there going to be more guest stars from Deep Space Nine? How's the story going to conclude? Is Worf's dad alive?
Yeah, all good questions. Hopefully we find some out.
Are you afraid to die while escaping?
We are dead, Worf.
We were captured. It was worse than death.
Well, why did you allow it to happen?
We had no choice. We were prisoners, unarmed and shackled.
We were interrogated for 3 months.
I understand your desire to preserve your family's honor. But what of your own?
If you had found your father, you would have found only dishonor.
If I had found him here, I would be glad to see him.
I can only hope that if my son came here, he would be Klingon enough to kill me.
Wow! Wow, dude! I did not see that coming.
Fuck.
I'm thinking this guy's gonna be like, oh wow, if my son showed up, but no, to kill me.
He's had no growth these past 25 years. Worf's had all the growth in the world.
Yeah, they haven't gone through.
In 6, and these people haven't gone through anything.
They haven't gone through their sins of the father or redemption arc, so.
I was wondering if there's going to be any sort of enlightenment for them after, realizing how nice it is to live and realize, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think of that line from Creed. Adonis is talking to Rocky. It's like, oh, maybe he wanted to die in the ring. I think he'd rather be sitting here with you. But no, not Klingons.
Nice. That's a nice matte painting.
Very nice for a Romulan-run prison camp.
I mean, I guess it's pretty chill of them to be like, yeah, sure, you can be alive, whatever. Just chill here. I'm still putting guards here, though.
Yeah, just some sympathetic Romulan.
They say you have come to stay with us.
Not by choice.
Well, aren't you happy to have escaped the war?
Hey, Renee, okay.
Oh, okay.
We've heard the stories all our lives.
Who are you?
Where I come from, people are free to come and go as they choose.
So are we.
Tell your father that you would like to leave. Tell him that you would like to visit the Klingon home world. See what he says.
Baal, come here.
Ah, shit.
I told you not to speak with him.
I'm sorry, Mother.
So weird to see a well-mannered Klingon woman.
Yeah, it's interesting. Full Klingon, yeah.
I'm used to the Duras sisters.
But she was born here, so she doesn't know.
Yeah.
I am Tokat.
You're still alive?
You robbed the Klingons of who they were. You dishonored them. By not slitting their throats when we found them unconscious.
All the Klingons here are still alive, too. That got captured, so why wouldn't he be? A dumb thing of me to say. I apologize. Delete your comment.
I did not expect you to understand. You are a Romulan.
My decision ended my military career.
Why did you do it?
I don't expect you to understand. You're a Klingon.
Oh.
Throw it right back at you.
Uh-huh.
I won't allow you to destroy what we have. I married a Klingon.
Oh.
When I warn you not to disrupt our lives here, I'm not speaking just as a jailer, but as a man protecting his family.
We gotta see that Klingon Romulan kid. Come on. What the hell would that look like? We don't see sets like this anymore, man. In Star Trek.
Nope.
This is like TOS vibes, early TNG vibes right here. I love it.
Takes me back. We just need like a flat wall, though, that's red.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Oh!
That's a hybrid. James Cromwell. Shit! Just flies away.
The Iridian vessel Lieutenant Worf boarded at Deep Space Nine has failed to arrive for our scheduled rendezvous.
So he did tell him, okay.
Picard's always been cool with Worf's excursions for the most part.
Oh, really? Anybody?
Yeah.
He is free to move around inside the compound, but make certain he does not cause trouble.
Is he gonna be the outcast?
Have this kid follow him around. So weird to see him in these nice clothes.
This is the Mutbara. The form clears the mind.
He's about to teach his own class here.
No, take a wider stance.
You must stop.
Oh!
These forms are the basis for Klingon combat. You would be wise to learn them.
So the old people are screwed, but he can start a revolution with the young kids.
This is what I wanted to show you. I'm not supposed to look at these things.
Wow.
I thought you might be able to tell me about them.
This is a warrior's armor. It's a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Baal,
Mother.
put that away at once. They are not needed here.
Okay, so, well, they're probably just like too sad about it.
Probably, yeah.
To teach her about it.
They're trying They're probably trying to shed any sort of Klingon from their culture at all that they just want to forget, because it probably makes them sad.
Which makes it interesting because even though Worf was raised by humans, it's almost like, her, for example, is even less of a Klingon. None of the culture, she doesn't even know any of it.
Yeah.
Kalis looked into the sea and wept. The ocean filled with his tears and flooded over the shore.
That is impossible.
Not Kalis. He was a great warrior.
You're making it up.
It is late. It is time to sleep.
The old man had shut down the bonfire.
What, we gotta get up for work tomorrow? There's nothing to do here. Worf standing in front of the fire, signifying he's starting the fire of the revolution out of here.
The stories that you tell, are they true?
I have studied them all of my life and find new truths in them.
Like a good movie.
Did he ever take a mate?
That is another story.
She's not of age yet, Worf.
Wait, how do you know that? She's 25.
Oh.
Or, it could have been a couple years later, 23.
She wasn't given the, I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew it. I don't want to say it, but I knew it.
Yeah, thematically that makes sense. But I expected more of a Romulan imprint besides just the ears, but that's a good reveal.
My father is a good man.
He took part in a cowardly attack at Kittimer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tell them you want to know the truth.
Knowing that now, I feel like the parents should have been even more aggressive about keeping her away from Worf.
Yeah.
Considering he could just see her ears.
Are any of these systems near Romulan space?
2 of them.
Echeveria.
That's good. That's good. So Data's story was just solved last episode, huh? Him getting
Apparently.
You were attracted to me. Can't you leave the hatred behind too? Can't you accept me as I am?
Looping all the way back to the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And the giving the blood.
Yep. What kind of stupid game is this?
This is not a warrior's game.
Kappa! That is not how you play this game.
It hones the skills of the hunt.
The hunt? We have replicators here.
It is a difficult skill to master. Perhaps you are too young.
Fell for it right away.
Oldest trick in the book.
Not even close.
Hold your other arm like this and aim along it.
Is that what that does? I've always wondered when does that aim it?
I guess it helps balance, I guess. Well, the wheel hit something. Doesn't count.
Put your skills to the test.
What do you mean?
We're gonna break out of here.
We can't let you out.
I give you my word as a warrior. I will not try to escape.
Are you seriously suggesting that we open the gates and let him wander free?
23 years ago, I gave you my word.
The Klingon's coming back.
If he breaks his word and tries to escape, kill him.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think Worf's going to keep his word?
I think he will, yeah. He wants to do it naturally, organically, to help these people.
Yeah, because I definitely thought the whole time this is a whole thing for him to escape. But, him giving his word is a big deal. Oh, nice.
Tonight, we eat well.
Get that off my table.
Yeah, I was going to say, completely contaminating the table. You have to clean it.
Get rid of it.
I intend to, Toka, but not until it's cooked.
Bagda Tumo Shoja Duro
I have a feeling like Tokath is going to shoot him or something.
Yaja Ke-o.
Sounds like a banger. Uh-oh, he's getting in on it. Oh, his own daughter.
I have done nothing more than show them who they are.
No, you have shown them what you want them to be.
Ooh.
It is their culture, though.
I offer you a choice. Live with us, as one of us,
Or
I will have you put to death.
that death will be honorable. The young people will see what it is to die.
He'll be a martyr.
A martyr. He'll be Jesus.
Well, he'd have to come back for that.
Well, he didn't actually come back.
He died and resurrected once before.
Can't you stay here with us? With me?
If there were a way, I would take you away with me.
Love's a bit far.
Been a couple of days.
Other Klingons will not accept me for what I am.
True. Enterprise will.
Yeah.
We were so happy. We didn't know that there was anything missing in our lives.
Ooh.
Goodbye, Worf.
Well, you know bro's gonna cave now. Standing by my honor, but then a woman kissed me. My standards have changed.
It's worth it more to get laid.
Last time, I had Alexander.
I want you to come aboard and raise my son, so I don't have to.
Yet another example where it's like, well, Worf is gonna leave your kid alone, I guess, with Deanna, so hope you're okay with that.
Yeah.
There are those among you who may question what I'm about to do.
Good old firing squad.
I am being executed because I brought something dangerous to your young people. Knowledge.
Damn, dude.
Raise your weapons.
Really doing the firing squad.
Father.
Stop this!
Oh!
Pull out the full gear.
Yeah, look at that.
If you kill him, you will have to kill me.
There you go, talk.
I want to leave. As do many others. You will have to kill us to keep us here.
It's already too late.
It is already too late.
Oh. He's like, now I'm really gonna shoot. Yeah, now he's pulling out his phaser. Oh, you know the daughter going in front's gonna be the last step.
Yep.
Dude, even the mom don't blame her.
This is our prison. It should not be theirs.
Yeah, they were never captured.
Your parents made a great sacrifice for the sake of their families. No one must know of this place.
How are they going to explain their origin, though? Where'd you guys come from?
W. Worf, though.
W. Worf.
He seems fine. We're giving everyone a thorough checkup in sickbay.
They've probably never even seen a human being before.
Oh, yeah, good point.
There was no prison camp. Those young people are survivors of a vessel that crashed in the Korea system 4 years ago. No one survived Kittimer. I understand.
Oh, he knows. Oh, he knows.
Oh, woo! That's a goosebumps ending, bro. Ooh. Damn. We just got done watching Birthright, the two-parter. We're going to be discussing this as one, as we usually do for mid-season two-parters. For me, I think it's good.
Well, I say, so nice James Cromwell appeared twice. But the episodes were fine. And by twice, I believe this is his second appearance in TNG, unless he showed up as another minor background character I wasn't aware about. He was in that great Super Soldier episode, and then in this one. Why they chose James Cromwell and made him look completely unrecognizable, I don't know. Because he just kind of takes Worf to the planet, and then he leaves, and he comes back, doesn't get to pick him up, and then he's just gone.
Yeah.
And that's his arc.
And you can still see, James Cromwell. He has one of those faces. You could still see him under there, even all that heavy makeup, the mask, whatever. You can just see his face. I thought he did good. A lot about this I thought was just good. I was like, oh, this is good. I like the story. I like the character stuff. We'll get into it. Nothing about it was, I was over the moon for necessarily. There were some moments I really enjoyed, but it did drag a little. It did feel like it stretched a little, especially in part 2 with no B plot. And fun fact, I looked up. So part 1 directed by Winrick Colby, part 2 directed by Dan Curry, and I was like, is that a new one? Is that it? Because this late in the game, we haven't had a lot of first timers. First time, not only a TNG episode, first directing credits, and one of his only directing credits. He's a visual special effects artist on Star Trek, TNG, and otherwise, and that's his main gimmick, it looks like. But I guess they just were like, here, you want to direct an episode?
Has he been on the crew for a while? Is that why they let him do it?
I think he'd like the whole show, yeah.
Okay, it's like, hey, you want to direct this one, Dan? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I enjoyed this episode because it involves my favorite character, Worf. I love a little bit of backstory. I love the fact that Worf's father did not survive, but we can still tell this story about these Klingons who did. I don't think it needed to be a two-parter. The Data storyline in part 1 was kind of there to fill the gaps of that episode, and then completely finished up, and then they had part 2 was all Worf's story. Although I did like Worf and Data's scene together in 10 Forward, where they both have issues with their father. Who would have thought? So that's nice. And then through Worf talking about what Data should do with his father, he realizes what he should do regarding his own. I got to go figure this out. Yeah, but in terms of the whole episode arc, I like the idea of one of the most dangerous things in the world is an idea. And that's what Worf did. He planted the idea of who they are as a people in these young people who had no idea who they are. And then he started pretty much a revolution, a very small, centralized revolution, but he changed their lives.
Yeah, what I found really interesting about it is I agree with you in the sense of didn't need to be a two-parter. When you just look at it from the different plots, they're tied together loosely, but if it had been rewritten, this could be 2 separate episodes, because part 1, the title Birthright, makes sense because Data and Worf are both talking about their fathers, their daddy issues, if you will, and they both explore that. And then in part 2, Data's story is over, and Worf is now talking about the birthright of these kids that have now been born here in this colony, essentially as prisoners, but that's how they know their life. Both stories are very interesting. They weren't that tied together except for the setup for part 2. Like, the whole part 1 is to get Worf to this compound for part 2. Once he gets there and finds out, yes, his father did actually die, as far as we know, at Khitomer. Or not Khitomer.
Yeah, Khitomer.
That is where he died?
Yeah, Khitomer.
Okay. Not to say it doesn't matter, but it's like that story's just over. And now his whole story is about this colony of people. And I did like that story. I think I actually do like part 2 a little bit more when you're just talking about the story. But I do really enjoy the trippiness and the kind of uniqueness of the Data one, because it's not something you would typically see in an episode. It's so weird, so out there. And, Brent Spiner in no makeup for the first time ever, I think.
I don't like seeing him talk normally. Because whenever he's talking as whether Lore or now as Noonien Soong, it's just uncanny. I don't like it. I'm so used to him talking as Data, him talking as a regular person. I don't know if this is how Brent talks in real life. I don't like it. I don't like seeing him with his regular blue eyes. I'm like,
yeah,
it's tripping me out. But
what's funny is I could tell that he definitely kept the Noonien Soong aesthetics to his voice, like the soft, syrupy talking. Like he kept He kept it very similar to that. Maybe that is close to his real voice. I don't know if I've heard Brent Spiner talk in many other things, but I like how even though he's younger, he still kept that accent so that you knew right away it was him. And I guess for some reason, maybe because of the heavy makeup he was wearing as Noonien Soong in Brothers, I didn't think of him as just being Brent Spiner when he was younger. So that was a little bit like, he was literally just Brent Spiner. That's funny.
Yeah, it made his son in exactly his image. Of course he did.
Yeah.
What do you? I'm glad Winrick Colby got to show a little bit of creative stuff, the DOP in the Dream stuff. Always, I'm a fan of that. So, what do you think about Data only had this on accident? Because Noonien Soong says like, "Oh, I never thought you'd come to this level." Data theorizes that Noonien Soong put the stuff in there when Data eventually developed, or he might never have. So, what do you think? Like, I think there's more to Data to be discovered here, because how much did Noonien Soong put in Data for him to naturally discover on his own? And what if he never did? Because Data is he's not incomplete, but he's not, fully 100% human. But it seems like the ability was planted there to be even closer by Noonien Soong, but it was only revealed because of this beam accident.
Yeah, what's really interesting about Data and learning about him is he really is, a project. Like, he wasn't a perfect creation. Noonien Soong made lore, went wrong, he created Data, but even when Data then finally meets him in Brothers, like, he wants to give him the emotion chip. Like, he's not fully, what he was supposed to be. So there are these things about him that make it seem like he could evolve, he could grow. And the fact that it happens on accident, I think it's fine. But it does lead me to wonder, like, what else could be under the surface? Could Data eventually reach that final completed goal of essentially being human?
Pinocchio. Once he becomes a real boy.
And I really love that, which is why I love that part of the story with him and just exploring that, and that there doesn't need to be I don't want to say not a reason, but there doesn't need to be a consequence of it. It's like he has this accident, this happens to him, he has his dream moments, and now he's just a different person, a different character. And even if TNG episodically won't pick that up, I know as the viewer, okay, after this episode, I know Data has gone through this. So for this last season and a half, he's a slightly more evolved Data, just like everything that's happened throughout the show, like, slightly more evolved. So where you go back and you watch like episode 1, and it really is kind of a different character.
Yeah, he's definitely a small elevation, a small step. And I'm glad that Julian Bashir, of all people, was the one to nudge him that step forward. And I think it makes sense for him. I think we would have liked to see more characters from DS9 cross over into the upscaled Blu-ray world, but I'm glad we got one of them. And it makes sense for him, and I'm fascinated that everyone's fascinated with Data's amazing abilities, but we've never seen someone comment on his normal abilities. Commenting on he has a pulse, he has a breath, his hair grows, and I think he was the perfect character to plant that idea that still Data's more human than he thinks, and he has more room to grow.
100%. And I thought Julian Bashir being here was awesome. Of course, there is the slight disappointment of it setting up. They're at Deep Space Nine. If it had just been Bashir was on board, like that's how they presented it, like we have Dr. Julian Bashir here on board, I wouldn't have expected any more crossover. But being at the base, I naturally am thinking, where is everyone?
Yeah.
And being at the base was cool because it gave a reason to set up Worf meeting James Cromwell's character and all those things. But there is that aspect of it's a little bit disappointing. However, right now we're only 9 episodes in, I think 9, to DS9, and Bashir, I like him, but he's probably like my least favorite character of the bunch just because he hasn't, done that much, and the one episode he did have recently wasn't the best. So with that being said, that's a good thing because it goes to show I still loved him here. Even though he's not the character I necessarily would have chosen for a TNG crossover, him and Data work so perfectly in their scenes together. My favorite scene of the two-parter is Bashir asking him the questions about cutting his hair and all the things about that a doctor would want to ask an android. And it makes perfect sense, and I thought the writing there for them was great. And I said during the reaction, like, if this was the entire show, I'd be so happy. Like, I just want to know about the characters. So I really loved it.
Yeah. They had a nice meet cute, too. They get Data's at his chair. I think Riker's like, oh, there's an energy surge coming from here. Can you go check it out? Yeah, sure. He's there. And he's just, Julian's just working on the Enterprise, trying to get this thing to work. It's like, you can't be in here. You can't be working on this. Oh, here, come here. Come over and help me with this. And just Data naturally just goes to help him. And he's like, no, wait, no, you got to get out of here. Like, you see him for a second go. He's like, no, wait.
That's good. What did you think about the Romulan Klingon hybrid character and that whole idea?
I don't like Worf cheating on Kalar.
Literally dead.
Warner for dead. I liked the stuff so much. Tokoth, I think, is just so fascinating. Like, these Klingons want to die. They want to die, and Tokoth is like, no. And it's like, they try to starve themselves, they force-fed them, and the Klingons didn't want them back either, so they knew about them. It's like, oh, no, keep doing what you want with them. They're pretty much dead to us anyway. And instead of letting them go, like, they offered to let them, oh, you're worthless, we're going to let you go. They refused. But they still won't kill them. It's like they're in this horrible purgatory and I think the older Klingon said he thought he was doing us a kindness. He thought he was being nice by not killing them. When you're actually doing the exact opposite, keeping these Klingons alive.
And he even says, Tokoth says, he gave up his career. It's
he gave up his whole career for this, and these Klingons wanted to die. He's like, no.
And then he marries her, the one Klingon, and they have the kid. Her name was
Bail.
Bail
Organa from Star Wars.
I thought she was fine. I thought the actress was fine. Played her character well.
She played it very well, because Worf, as soon as he sees her ears, is so disgusted. Like, you are a Romulan. Romulan and Klingon together? He's like, yeah, what's the big deal? Like, what do you I love how these kids are so goddamn innocent that they have no idea. But with the male kid, like, he was that way as well, but he gets like 1 cent of an animal outside. It's like those instincts, just like any animal, those instincts are still inside you. And then the next scene, he's like flaunting the dead carcass, and they're singing that song. It's like sometimes you just need 1 step and then you're on a completely other side of who you've been your entire life, because that's within you. I also really liked talking. I just realized Klingons are kind of like Greek mythology with their mythos, when they're all around the fire and Worf's talking about the story of Kahless and throwing the sword and the tears overflowing. I was thinking, I wonder if there was some Greek mythology inspiration for Klingons and their lore, some Spartans.
I could totally believe that.
That makes sense.
And with the male kid character, a badass moment when he shows up in the armor.
Full gear, yeah.
That was great. And my favorite scene of part 2 was probably that culmination of Worf about to be executed by the firing squad, and all of the kids standing in front of him, and then even the mother, of Tokoth's daughter, being like, go, and she stands in front. It's one of those where there's something about it that, that moment could resonate super hard and be one of the best moments of the series, and it doesn't quite reach it. Like, it's like, this is really good, but it's like, I don't know if it's the pacing of the episode or what it is, but it didn't reach that for me. I just appreciated it from more of a writing perspective and an execution perspective of, well, this was really well done. I see where these characters were and how Worf got them here, and it's believable. But it didn't, strike me emotionally or anything.
Yeah. Got me a little bit with the goosebumps, where I think Bales said, oh, my father is going to kill you. He may, but he will not defeat me. It's like, it's good. It's like, die as a Klingon. And that great scene with Picard and Worf at the end. Oh, we picked up these guys off a Corellian ship. It blew up 4 years ago, and Picard knows. He said, okay, sounds good, I believe you. And then music swells.
Yeah, great ending. Also, back in part 1, love the scene with Worf and Troy, where Troy's talking about his daddy issues.
Yeah, and he's doing that dance. He's doing that dance. And later on in part 2, he says that it balances the mind, or clears the mind, and it makes sense why he breaks the table, because his mind is clear, because he's thinking about his dad. But sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's basically it. And I think Troy, I forget her exact line, but kind of calls him out at the end of that scene about, so why are you worried? Or something along those lines. And great use of her. I love their whole dynamic throughout the series, starting with the bonding, up through now, and with everything with Alexander. It's really been great. It is weird, gotta have to point out, Alexander's just completely missing from this, and Worf just goes to this thing and is willing to die. Never once mentions him. It is what it is, but it is a little bit like you built the character into it, so it's kind of weird to not address it.
Yeah, and Worf placed so much trust in this James Cromwell character. What if he just left him there? Because he didn't pay him up front. Oh, you're not going to pay me. Oh, I'm fucking out of here. Piece of shit. It's like, when he actually did show up, I'm like, oh, wow. And they loosely mentioned that the Enterprise kind of knew that Worf left with this guy, but they didn't know where he was going. They looked at he could have been, we found his star path at Deep Space Nine. Here are the 3 possible planets that Worf could be at. One of them is named after Renee.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was kind of cute.
Oh yeah, who wrote the first episode?
No, he wrote the second one. Brandon Braga wrote the first one.
Okay, yeah, good call. Yeah, that was a nice little Easter egg, and yeah, Picard's always been hands off with, especially Worf, but the crew. But yeah, it did seem a little bit like that's your chief of security. It's not a random ensign or anything. I mean, you should probably know where he is.
Yeah, they're a little too free. This isn't. Yeah, we're not doing. This isn't shore leave. Picard, they're there to help them with their aqueducts, which is, I looked up water filtration systems.
Oh, okay.
I think, and I'm like, kind of interesting that they brought in the best ship of them all to help with the Bajorans with their water aqueduct systems. I'm glad Worf had his Captain Kirk moment where he changes an entire society's way of life for the better. Way to go, Worf! You did it.
Yeah, at least for Worf, it was Klingons, and it makes sense for him. As to where Kirk can just do it to anybody at any time.
You're doing this all wrong.
Yeah, listen to me. Listen to this speech. Yeah, that was pretty great. I just wanted to say, this isn't a general thing, but I was thinking about it over the weekend after we watched this, and again, I'll put out there, reemphasize, this is not like my favorite episode of the season. It's not, I think, insanely good or anything. I think it's good, but I think I definitely love Star Trek right now more than I have like up to this point. Like where we are in the series, like just as a whole, just as a franchise. I mean it wasn't, technically it's just now becoming a franchise and where we're watching with multiple shows, but it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's in this great spot right now. I don't know if this is the peak or if this is the, who knows, but I've really, really been enjoying it. And, Deep Space Nine thus far has been such a pleasure that I no longer really have any fear of post TNG Star Trek like I used to. I used to be like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens. But, I really just like how easily it translated from TOS to TNG and then do it again from TNG to Deep Space Nine so far. And it's like, damn, it's like, I just love like the whole world, like I love how it's built out and everything. And I used to think that Star Wars, I'm not as big of a fan as you are of it. I was more casual fan, but I used to always think like, oh, Star Wars, like they have a really good world built out. And it's like, but I think Star Trek has already surpassed it in where we are, just in how deep and how interested I am. Every single time I see an alien that we've seen before, I'm like, oh, like, oh, it's so cool. And the people on the shows, for the most part, just really seem to care. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah. It feels as if the universe is really built and lived in now across these 3 shows now. And I feel comfortable naming out characters and species, and as in some shows, I feel completely lost sometimes, but I feel very comfortable, and I'm very excited to see how Deep Space Nine explores even deeper.
This one's from HR. It was supposed to be Dax meeting Data, but her shooting schedule on DS9 didn't work out. However, I, as a 44-year-old male, still squee at the interaction between Data and Bashir. The Worf stuff, Interesting, if it had been Dax, don't think it would have been as strong. The characters line up in terms of, she's kind of like the Technobabble one, Deep Space Nine so far, but I'm glad it was Bashir.
Yeah, Bashir has that more human optimism and fascination. It worked in this dream scenario setting. A lot of the stuff mimicking what I'm saying about this could have been a one-parter.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that. People saying the Data stuff was tacked on because of Worf's story not being able to sustain 2 parts, which is fair. I mean, I'm glad it was. If they had stretched out just Worf's story in part 1, that would have been rough.
Yeah, I gotta say, on the rewatchability, not as fun.
Yeah.
Because kayfabe, it's been a few days since we watched the episode, and then I watched it again yesterday, and on the rewatch, it's just knowing everything that happens is just not as fun.
Not the most exciting.
Yeah.
Matt Evercool says, what did you think about finally getting to see DS9 remastered in HD for this TNG 2-parter? Really cool to see both the station model and promenade interior set in glorious high definition. I didn't like it. I love the look of Deep Space Nine.
I like the look too. I like that grittiness, that graininess, that we're down in the muck, and then seeing it all bright and colorful. It's like, ah!
Yeah, I was like, this isn't the space station I know.
For 9 episodes.
Yeah.
This isn't mine.
I will say, what I did enjoy was the external shot of the station model when it shows them docked there, the HD rendering of the outside of it. That was awesome, because on the DVD quality, it just kind of like is kind of messy and muddy with the space and everything. So that was cool. But the inside of it, yeah, I'll keep the dark '90s DVD quality.
Spencer Lofton says, boring episode that goes nowhere. Nowhere interesting. C tier.
Fair enough. Joe Vett says, these episodes are very Star Trek-y, but also insanely cliche. I don't like them, and I don't dislike them. Meh, a little too deep into backstory that shouldn't have been canonized. That's interesting. How do you feel about that? A lot of people, I feel like it's pretty split. There are some people who you want to know everything about the character, you want their full backstory, and then there's people who prefer the mystery, prefer the let me fill in the gaps. What do you fall on that?
Depends on the situation, I guess. But I don't think anything in these backstories was that revealing too much. Worf's dad is still dead. There's just some people who survived the Kittimer massacre. And then we get a nice story about Worf hunting with his dad and this older Klingon when Worf was a kid. Nothing was really revealed in the Data one too much besides Noonien Soong possibly put these extra circuits in there for him to discover naturally. But I don't know. I don't think... It depends. Would Darth Vader be more terrifying if we didn't see him as, Jake Lloyd and Hayden Christensen? Probably. Did we need an entire trilogy? I don't know. Because I never... Apparently for older people, growing up with the mythos of Darth Vader, not knowing his backstory was probably terrifying. Made him a more compelling villain. And learning his backstory as an adult probably made it worse. But me, I grew up with the prequels and the OT, so I don't know.
For me, I think maybe you agree with me, but my version of that is, of course, I grew up with the prequels, with you as well. So that stuff, it was always, the whole story for me. But then seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi and seeing, Darth Vader with his mask get broken off and Hayden Christensen be like, "It's not your fault, Kenobi." It's like, I don't know if I needed to see that.
Yeah.
And, I think I agree with you 100%. It's obviously situational, and it's also a hindsight thing where you want to know stuff until you don't like it. So it's like, for me, it's like, of course I want to know about Data. Of course I want to know about Worf. And there was nothing in these episodes that was revealed that I ended up disliking. So I was like, oh, I'm fine with it. If they had revealed that Worf's dad was not dead, I wouldn't have liked it. And then I would have been like, they shouldn't have done that. Yep. So it's like a catch-22. It's like, I'm okay with it if I like it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Same thing with fan service. It's either great or sometimes it's not, and it depends if you like it or not. I think the best example, not fan service, but the best example of a backstory elevating and illuminating a character is Tapestry with Picard. I love that backstory, adding more light to what happened with the stabbing and adding another layer. If that's what happened all along with laughing while being stabbed. If it all had to do, if it's one of those time loop things.
Yeah, I will also say too, I'm more open to it when it's within its own thing. So this is still TNG. So like we're still learning about these characters in TNG. And do TV shows sometimes go too long and jump the shark? Sure. But I prefer this versus, a sequel or a reboot or something where, one day when we finally do get to Picard, the show, and they reveal something dumb, I'm going to be like, that's fucking dumb. And like, I'm not going to be okay with it because it's not TNG. Like, it's a different show. Trying to think of a non-Star Trek example of that, but, I feel the same way a lot of times about character deaths too, where like they'll bring back an old character and kill them, and it's like, okay, so now their entire story, I just know that that's going to lead to this stupid death scene that you created, So I'm more open to it when it's within still its own original thing, I think.
Yeah. Although, sometimes it's really good. With Andor, a prequel show about a one-off character, and it's some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen. So I don't know.
Nothing's ever 100%. Yeah, there's always good and bad examples.
But I'm really trying to think of a bad example that just established character. Something came out. It's like, what? That ruins the whole thing. Maybe Han Solo, the Han Solo dodge that George Lucas edited.
I was gonna say I know a pretty good one from Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan.
Oh, do you?
Kirk having a son he knew about for all of the original series. Someone just commented recently on our Wrath of Khan video because it still gets views every day, and basically saying like, oh, no, Kirk didn't know about David. It's like, yes, he did. It's very clear. It's very clear in the movie he knew about him. So, Like, I'd like to pretend you didn't know about him, but it's very clear he did. That's the type of thing. Now, if that had been revealed in season 3 of TOS, I would have been like, oh, that's weird, but, we're still in TOS. Okay, it was revealed in the show, but it wasn't. It was revealed in the movie over a decade later. That recontextualizes the show. I don't have to get all into that argument again, but that would be an example for me.
Yeah. A better example would be if his brother George and/or Sam with the mustache survived. What was that episode called? The
Operation Annihilate.
Operation Annihilate. You left me on that planet for dead, and it's and they make this movie now with 90-year-old William Shatner, and then 90-year-old William Shatner with the mustache. You left me for dead all those years ago.
Or I was gonna say, instead of Wrath of Khan, Wrath of Sam, when he takes off the helmet, it's just Kirk with a mustache.